keep going? You sure? Are we ready? Naya man, I and I. Hi Petra, how are you, Petra? Oh, by the way, folks, I don't know if you've all met yet. I know the UK team knows her, but Petra Roach, the manager of Barbados in Canada, in the United States, in North America. Petra is actually one of the most fun people that I've ever met in my life. And if you talk about a woman who is very decisive, I met her some 6 years, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago in London at a dinner that we were with about 15 people, including the chairman. And nobody could decide what to order off the menu. It was a Chinese restaurant. And Petra made the decision for the entire group. She ordered every single thing that was on the menu. And you know what? It was the best decision that she ever made. So, Petra, we love you dearly. Thank you for everything that you do for Sandals here. All the airlift to Barbados, the expansion of the United States as the primary market for Barbados, or fast becoming the primary market for Barbados, certainly has been the work of this lady, Petra Roach. So, we're glad to have you, Petra. And is Gail ready? I've bought a lot of time, you know. Sing some more. Speak softly, love, and hold me close against your heart. The vows of love until we share forevermore. Julie, you're all mine. And you're my favorite director in the Southeast. Poor Julie. This guy. Omar, can tell them we're ready for them. My colleagues, because of the strength of your brand, which is global, please welcome the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Amor Mottley. Prime Minister Mottley, ladies and gentlemen. When you have such a brand and such a global sales force, you have a Prime Minister to attend your conference. Thank you. We also have with the Prime Minister's delegation the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Kirk Humphreys. Kirk, thank you so much, Minister. Thank you so much for coming. Prime Minister, this is the global sales force of Sandals Resorts. Prime Minister, we start with offices in Russia, as far away as Russia, Italy, France, Germany, Brazil, Mexico, Argentina. I think Peru, we have a couple people here from Canada, I think. I can't hear them. The UK, I think, is also here. And of course, the United States of America. We have all over the world. And the Prime Minister, for the record, because of the efforts of the sales team, Sandals Royal Barbados and Sandals Barbados is enjoying 100% occupancy. In fact, I stand corrected. We are enjoying 140% occupancy. And as a result, Prime Minister, to contribute to the economy of Barbados, we have taken 4 hotels that they are now enjoying 100% occupancy, all on St. Lawrence Gap. So we're sharing the love from infinity. The bad ones were placed at timeout, and the good ones were at Dover. So they're all over the place, Prime Minister. So the economy is good. Before we hear from the Prime Minister, folks, I was introducing my colleague, Jeff Clark, whose contribution to our sales organization is absolutely tremendous. He's someone who has come to our company with a great deal of experience, a great deal of passion and knowledge of how the travel industry works. Ladies and gentlemen, our Chief Operating Officer, Jeff Clark.
Good morning, everyone. I would encourage Mr. Sadler to begin to look at some convention centers, because I really do not believe we will be able to fit in any of our resorts going forward. Not because we don't have the room, of course, but with the addition of all our salespeople in this room, particularly the new ones, the occupancies will be 5 to 6 points higher next year. So, Ferry, 91%, you'll be operating at about 96% next year, because we will make sure we deliver for our hotel partners. Now, as Gary said, one of the things we do over the next few days is network amongst ourselves. But I would encourage everyone, and I said this last year, I'll probably say it again next year. What we have is an opportunity, and the opportunity is to sell the most innovative brands in travel. And if the product is not working well, your jobs, our jobs, become incredibly difficult. And that's a situation we don't have, because those 14,000 people that work at our resorts deliver an amazing vacation experience every darn day of the year, 365 days. So as you're networking this weekend, or you're doing a FAM, take time out to introduce yourself to the guy who is making sure the lawn is taken care of, to the person who is delivering room service, to the pool people who are working at the pool, to the people who work at the loyalty desk, to the person who's checking you in. Introduce yourself and say thank you for what you do, because you make my life so much easier. I would encourage us all to do that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about this morning, and this is important that you remember every day, nothing happens at this company until you sell something. Nothing. As an accountant, if you go back, I'm an accountant, but if you go back and think of a financial statement, the top line is sales, okay? And then you deduct expenses, okay? Deduct what we pay travel agents, commissions, all those things, and then you get your profit. But it all starts at the top line. And that's critically important that you remember that, because in your employment contract, we do not state the significance of your job. And it's just not your job within Unique Vacations or Sandals Resorts. Your job fuels the economies of the Caribbean islands that we operate within. Without those guests from the U.S., from Canada, from Russia, from Latin America, from Europe, from the U.K., nothing happens here at the islands. And if we're not sending people here, then the person who grows tomatoes on the island, we aren't purchasing them. For the people who are supplying us chickens, we're not buying them. Because one thing at Sandals, we buy the majority of our goods from locals. The more people we put here, we bring more money into the communities, into the gross national products of the nations within the Caribbean islands. It's a partnership, and it's a partnership that is serious. Think about the number of people that you're providing incomes for. That is serious when you break it down, because you're in your territory, you're doing your job on a day-to-day basis. But if you think about the big picture, it's pretty important what you do on a day-to-day basis. We value it, and we say thank you for doing that. So when you get tired on a Friday evening and you've done 6 sales calls, think about that. Do that 7th sales call, right? Because there's a lot of people depending on us every day, not just in Miami, not just in the headquarters in Montego Bay or in Kingston. It's the people of the islands who depend on us every day to send more people here. So I want to say thank you for the year that you have given us. It has been an incredible year. Your efforts are paying off. And as you notice, there are many more people in this room than there were last year. Matter of fact, many more people you may not know. Get to know them. But we're innovating not only on the product side. We are a world-class sales organization. And that means we will evolve before our competitors do. The best time to change and evolve is when times are good. And times are good. But we're not sitting still. We will change. Change may be uncomfortable. But we're going to ask you to be more focused next year than you were this year. Thus, that's why we're adding people. We truly believe there's a segment of the distribution channel that we're not penetrating deep enough. We're not focused on hard enough. So we're going to pull some pressure off, bring new people in, so we can help those agents who give us 2 and 3 bookings a year, give us 10, 11, and 12 bookings. And I know we have the right people in this room to do that. So I want to thank you for an incredible year. You're going to get a lot of stuff pushed into your ears over the next 2 days. Okay? Take 4 or 5 things that you learn over the next 4 days. Implement it. Execute upon it. Because if you go home and you don't leverage what you're going to learn, then you will fail. And you will be left behind. And it's our responsibility to make sure we keep evolving and keep moving. Because again, don't ever forget, nothing happens until you sell something. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Best of luck. We'll talk soon.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for those kind words. Folks, as you know, the chairman had every intention to be here today to spend this weekend with us. In fact, this morning, when his doctor advised him that he cannot go on a plane because he's actually fighting a very terrible flu. So his doctor said, no, you're not going. And I'm happy that he didn't come and give us that flu anyway. Don't tell him that. But he sent a message that I'd like to share with everyone. And especially, he said, Prime Minister, he loves you dearly. Now, that's a good thing. And he's very sorry that he couldn't make it, but he wants me to deliver a message which, you know, we're very pleased and honored to welcome the Honorable Prime Minister of Barbados, Amor Mottley. Sandals has always enjoyed an amicable relationship with Prime Minister Mottley, and this is certainly good news as we look forward to the future. Prime Minister, we wish to recognize the work that you and your government continue to do and have done in the short time that you have been in office. And we wish to congratulate you on the significant strides taken to put Barbados on a stable economic footing. Much work still lies ahead, but let me assure you, Madam Prime Minister, at Sandals, we will be there for you shoulder to shoulder, working together as a true partner to help you to achieve a brighter and more prosperous future for this amazing country. This has been our approach in every destination we operate. And as an indigenous Caribbean company, we see it as our duty to do all we can to ensure that our islands and people raise to their fullest potential. True partnership are the only way that we can overcome big problems. While Sandals may be just one hotel group, we fully intend to pull our weight to help bring about the stability and success we all want for Barbados. Your presence here this morning sends a very powerful and motivational message to the entire sales organization worldwide, and indeed to our whole company as we continue with our efforts to build Destination Barbados. It is no idle boast that Sandals' advertising campaign is unmatched when it comes to promoting the Caribbean, particularly in North America. You know that the North American market has not been a traditional strong one for Barbados. However, it is our privilege to work alongside with local officials, promote at the Barbados Tourism Authority, as well as members of the hospitality sector to help develop and open this market. There has already been a significant increase in business, and we expect this market to grow even further. Prime Minister, we actually have 21 radio stations broadcasting live as we speak from the pool area at Sandals Royal Barbados. Sandals has full confidence in the Barbados product. Following the opening of Sandals Barbados just over 3.5 years ago, we opened the Sandals Royal Barbados last December, bringing our total investment in the island to $350 million US. Less than a year on, we're already expanding Royal Barbados by adding 50 additional suites which will open on November 10th, providing 100 new jobs. Let me note here, Prime Minister, that both resorts were built by Bayesian contractors and subcontractors who did a sterling job in ensuring that this project is so successful. We have now gone further with plans to develop a beaches resort in St. Peter, which is well on track and will represent our single largest investment to date. It should be noted that we will raise all the capital and we carry all the risk for these investments. In other words, we're putting our money where our mouth is. I believe that sends a very powerful message, and I can think of no greater way to telegraph to the world about the investment community that investing in Barbados, you can do it with confidence. Our 2 resorts currently enjoy more than 1,200 persons in Barbados, and when beaches is complete, our total employment figure, the vast majority of whom are Bajans, will be just shy of 3,000. Our expansion in Barbados also spells good news for local suppliers and producers. Local suppliers and producers and also other hotels, because you see what happened this week. We have to put up our people at other hotels. We make it a priority to identify and develop linkages with local suppliers in all the islands, and our internal mandate is to always buy local first. This means more opportunities for farmers, for taxi drivers, tour operators, artisans, manufacturers, and all local suppliers. It is through these linkages that many small enterprises have been able to flourish and have grown into successful businesses on their own, creating further employment and generating wealth. Internally, our Sandals Corporate University, as well as our rigorous training programs, create tremendous opportunities for team members for personal growth and development. Our team members have a choice of 150 different programs, ranging from hospitality courses to bachelor's and master's degrees. They are all recognized degrees supported by leading academic institutions such as the University of the West Indies, the New England Culinary Institute, the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute, and the Hotel School of Hague, and the English Guild of Professional Butlers. It is a known fact that when someone is Sandals trained, not only can they get a job in any hotel anywhere in the world, but they can go on to shine for both company and country. It is a very exciting time. We believe in the promise of growth the tourism sector holds, and our faith is made even stronger when we look at the tremendous and vibrant hotel community that exists in Barbados, and that we are very proud to be a part of. We have every cause for optimism, Madam Prime Minister, and we look forward to working alongside with you and your government to achieve positive gains for Barbados. From our chairman, the Honorable Gordon Booth Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Amor Mottley is the 8th Prime Minister of Barbados. She became the first woman to occupy that very high office following the general elections of May 24, 2018, in which she led the Barbados Party to a resounding victory, winning all 30 seats in the House of Assembly by the largest margin ever in the electoral system in the Caribbean. Now, don't stop there. This is the only woman in the world, in any democratic process of any nation in the world, that has completely annihilated. I knew I was going to mess that part up, you know. I knew. I even have it written down. That completely annihilated the opposition party. The opposition party does not exist in this country because of this woman. An attorney at law and Queen's Counsel, Prime Minister Mottley has been active in political life in Barbados for nearly 3 decades. First elected in 1994, she is presently in her 6th term as Member of Parliament for the constituency of St. Michael Northeast. From 1994 to 2008, Ms. Mottley served in the cabinet of 3 successive administrations, first as Minister of Education and Culture, then Attorney General, and then Minister of Home Affairs, followed by Minister of Economic Affairs. In 2003, she was appointed Deputy Prime Minister. Prime Minister Mottley currently holds the portfolio of Minister of Finance, Economic Affairs, and investment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce to you the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Amor Mottley. Gonna miss that word out.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gary. I now see why the only other party to celebrate 80 years in the Caribbean has you as one of its core people. And I say so because that is our reality, the party that I lead. And I would think that that allows me to be able to say to my sister party that we need to extract somebody from Jamaica and locate them in Barbados. Because I can think of no better voice to express our message and to communicate our message than you. Ladies and gentlemen, first, welcome. And welcome to hopefully what will be for you a few days that you will keep always in your memory, because the experience among us in this country, we hope, will for you be special and will cause you always to want to come back. You know, life is funny because we tell people all the time that if you want to understand the best of global civilization, or if you want to understand the best of who we are as a people globally, come to the Caribbean. Because the Caribbean represents a bit of every part of the earth. We didn't get here sometimes voluntarily, but what we did when we got here was to come together and to create a civilization that truly is unique on this earth. At a time when so many others across the world are trying to struggle to work out how to live together, how to worship their gods together, how to provide for their families. And the bloodshed and the insecurity and the struggles that many face, we here in the region have managed to be able to perfect the art of allowing everybody. Everything is included for everyone. And whether you're small or you're large, regardless of gender, regardless of class, the Caribbean has a space for you. And in a very real sense, that is what you are selling to your other citizens. That we, in this region, have a story to tell and an experience to share. And I start from this point because the work of this organization is in a very real sense very similar to what we have to do as a nation. We want to provide the best life for our people, and in so doing, provide the best experience in this life for those who are of here and for those who want to visit here. And providing that best experience means making sure that those of us who have responsibility for delivering it speak from the same vision and work with the same purpose. And that, I'm sure, is what you do every year when you come to this kind of session. It's no different from what we have to do as a nation to build our people and for us to move on to the next level. When we were children, growing up, and those of us in here who are a little older will remember the slogan, tourism is our business. But it isn't just our business. It is who we are. Because the essence of who we are on an island must always be to share and to open. Because no man is an island, truly. No woman is an island. And on this earth, we have had to perfect what it is to be a hub, a global hub, a place from which people can come and can go. And sometimes we forget it, and we need to remember that communicating that single vision and that single purpose is critical. And sometimes we need to be trained to perfect the art of excellence. We in Barbados, like many other nations, have to remain focused if we are to give that best life and that best experience. And we don't take for granted your being here or the work that you put in daily, weekly, monthly, yearly to sell to those who want to share this experience. And we know that when we leave here and go and eat lunch, we can eat lunch that is bland, or we can eat lunch that makes us want to eat it again and come back and come back and come back and come back again. And our duty is to make sure that it is not just bland and for sustenance, but that it has some combat juice. And I say so because one of the things for which we are very proud in Barbados is that we have the highest repeat factor visitor numbers for countries in this part of the world. And that's done because people ultimately like what they see, enjoy what they taste, and hold that experience as one that they want to repeat over and over. They tell me that is the definition of addiction, but I would like to believe that that is the definition of love, and love is all that you need. So how do we get people to fall in love? Fall in love with this experience, fall in love with this nation. We have determined that if Barbados is to survive and to transform, that we need to recognize that we have to do things a little differently. And we have all to up our game. That's what Gary was just basically saying, up our game. Because the day that we sit on our laurels is the day that we accept that we have nothing left to learn and nothing left to share. So that the stretching that is critical to move to the next level is not something that is going to be your preserve alone as salesmen, but I give you the commitment that it will be our commitment too, as that product which you are seeking to sell to the rest of the world. And why do I say so? Because as much as the essence of who we are remains pure, how we communicate that essence, how we relate to other people, how we present, all of these things need to keep changing because people have choices. And as long as people have choices, people will exercise them. So that if we don't demand attention by how we perform, by how we look, by how we do what we do, we're not going to get that market share that is going to make your life and our lives a little sweeter. And we have determined, therefore, that as we seek to transform our country, because we are in a moment of transformation. And we have inherited some very, very, very difficult circumstances. Barbados, regrettably, became the third most indebted country in the entire world. It's not something that we are proud of. But in life, if you ignore your reality, you're destined to fall. And our reality became that in a way that is so unaccustomed to who we are, because our DNA was one that between 1955 and 2007, we were among the most fiscally prudent countries in the world, having spent more than we had 5 times in 52 years, never 2 consecutive years, never more than $20 million. And regrettably, we then had what we've come to call the lost decade, 2008 to today, where we have run fiscal current account deficits such that our debt moved from $6 billion to $15 billion in 10 years, and has caused us now to take stock. But taking stock has led us to realize it's not about returning to where we are, but it is about becoming the best of who we can possibly become. And that's why we are here today. And that's why we're engaging with you today. Because we recognize that we can't do it alone. And that what we need is each and every one who believes in what we are doing. And we believe that Sandals believes in what we are doing. And we believe that you as individuals in Sandals believe in what we are doing. That if each of us now, on our part, live up to our end of the bargain, to make your experience here, to make your communication of that experience, to make our story known to you, to make our story inspire you in your own countries as to what is possible. That if we can do that, then we will not have enough space like Sandals to accommodate those who want to come. But we have, like Sandals, to keep training. And as we confront this reality and make the adjustments, we have determined, as I said, it's not good enough to go back to where we are. We need to go to where we want to be. And in those circumstances, we have coined a program which we feel will help us reach that destination of excellence. And being Bajans, we call it the RIRI program. And you'll see why in a few days when we talk further. But it is about retooling and empowering. It's about retraining and enfranchising. It's about being able to all cause our people to live the best life that we can. And what did Gary say from the chairman just now? That change is uncomfortable but necessary. It's uncomfortable but necessary. But what helps us manage change is the retooling. And it's the empowering. What helps us succeed and overcome the changes that we must make is the retraining and it's the enfranchising. So that when we say that our route to excellence is the RIRI program, it is because we believe that if we do these things, we are going to give you in this organization a better product to share with the rest of the world, better returns at the corporate level, and better returns at the individual level. We get it, and we understand our role in this equation. And even if in the past some have fallen, we understand that we must attain excellence. And it is against this background that I want to salute one of our very own, Petra Griffith, who was the recipient of the Virtuosa Award of Excellence, I believe, in North America only last week. Please stand, Petra. Now, we could have told them that she represented excellence out of 250,000 people. But they have told us that for them, out of 300 million, she represents excellence too. And it is that simple word that we want, therefore, to reflect all that we do. If we do the best that we can and be the best that we can, that is the definition of excellence. And you might not remember the E word, but you may remember the B word. And the B word for best is the B word for Barbados. So that I ask you, as you move around this country the next few days, let it be that special memory. Let it occupy in your spirit a place that says that you went once to a nation and you had the person who for the time being had responsibility for the leadership of that nation say to you, let us remember that being here is about being a Bajan. And in our country, there are those who are Bajan by birth, like my Minister of Tourism. There are those who are Bajan by marriage. There are those who are Bajan by descent. But above all else, there are those who are Bajan, like Gary, by choice. And being Bajan by choice is the most passionate experience. So that before I leave here today, I want you to study and reflect on whether you can join us in this journey and become Bajan by choice. Because if I think I'm seeing a lot of people here today, when Beaches finishes in 2.5 years, I want to be there to see twice the number in this room and to accommodate another Sandals family after another $450 million in investment in this country, and another example of excellence with respect to the Beaches Hotel in St. Peter. And I say so fondly, but I say so conscious that our survival and success as a nation depends on these partnerships. And if we, like you, through training and through the communication of a single vision and a single purpose, can create that platform where all of us can work together, then, as I say to Barbadians all the time, many hands will make light work. And when many hands make light work, then hopefully success will come to us all. You can be anywhere today, but you have chosen to be here. I ask you now to choose to be Bajan in all that you do when you leave here, and to remember that there is on this earth a special place that will keep your memories, but that hopefully will give you new memories each time you come. Help us let others share what you are about to share. Thank you, and God bless.
have heard from the Prime Minister the B word. I heard best, but I didn't hear beaches. So I think it's Best Beaches Barbados.